What I've learnt from gathering audience feedback is that it's both informative and useful in successfully improving what you've already produced. From having picked a suitable target audience, these were the candidates who previewed my decisions so far and gave me appropriate criticism. Collecting this information has allowed me to make stern choices in what to change or to add, keeping me on track to produce a film that is loved by my target audience. The best feedback I was able to collect was from my first edit, as I was unsure on many things proving it back, for example, whether to include music or will it take away all the power from the voiceover. Another issue I faced was that my short film was 45 seconds over the 5-minute slot. I showed my target audience and allowed them to decide what scenes to remove, because if I remove a scene that the majority liked because I did not like the idea of it, then I am not using audience feedback to the highest of my ability. And in this case, it was true. My audience felt that the scene I thought would be interesting was actually not needed. This was when the daughter went to visit the psychiatrist with her mother. They decided for it to end on the mother writing the letters, so we are left on a cliffhanger, wondering what happens next. When I gathered this information, I simply used a grid that included various questions, and after each one, always ended up with the question asking, what can I do to improve? This was the most useful as it made me be able to develop my short film for the better. Using a grid from each individual point of view also allows me to pick up their own opinion without being influenced by others, like you would get if you carried out a focus group. From experience last year, I used a focus group to gather criticism. However, this year I decided not to, as mine did not go as I planned. The group that I used last year were distracted and were always laughing just because I was filming them. I'm not saying that this would happen again if I used a different group of people. I just don't want to rely on my collecting of data from a focus group. So from this, I decided to gather information in a different way. To first start off with, when collecting data, I used the simple technique of a questionnaire. However, this was very basic and didn't ask questions for feedback, but was asking questions that would allow the audience to give an opinion of what they would like to see. This was useful though, because it would help me decide on the events that could happen within my short film. After this, I analysed all the answers, and the ones that I liked or were similar gave me a wider view on what I could include. Like a focus group, but with only one person, I carried out an interview on someone who was in the target age range. This allowed me to gather in-depth information from a personal point of view, which gave me a wider understanding. For getting feedback on my film poster designs, I used a simple but effective way. I had to decide out of 3 poster designs what one I would go ahead with and use. This is a very hard decision as they all had factors to them which I liked. The way I gathered this information was getting my target audience's opinions, tallying down their marks, then creating a pie chart which showed clearly what poster was preferred. This was a good idea as my target audience are more than likely now going to be drawn into going to watch the film as they like the visual analysis of it. Overall, what I've learnt from gathering feedback is that it is one of the most important things to do if you want your final product to be successful. It enables you to see mistakes and offer you different ideas that you may have not seen or thought of before. It is very important to get feedback from your target audience, as these are who you want to attract, and you need to be sure you are following the conventions and following your audience's interests and expectations.